This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to talk about how crypto is an attack on freedom. I got this question yesterday from KP Moresco. Why do we celebrate the continued attack on crypto? Are traditional markets not a rigged game where the house always wins? Remember, a house divided will always fall. I just wanted to go on the record and say that crypto is not part of my house. And I'm going to show you why in this video, because for a lot of people, they see Bitcoiners rejoicing at the downfall of Coinbase and Binance, and they don't really understand what's going on here with crypto casinos and with crypto in general, and why Bitcoiners are not more friendly to this. There are a number of reasons. The first one, cryptocurrencies like ETH and XRP are actively soliciting or collaborating with governments and their central banks to help to build central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. These are government spy coins, surveillance coins that can turn off your money on a moment's notice if perhaps you have the wrong political views, if you vote for the wrong candidate, etc. There are many ways that CBDCs can be abused and thus will be abused. This sounds pretty fiat to me, yet this is something that Ripple, the issuer of the unregistered security XRP, is actively doing. Ripple is working with more than 20 countries on CBDC plans. We can even see on the Ripple website, it's a little bit difficult to see here, CBDCs and stablecoins accelerate payments and reduce costs. A quick note to the XRP army who might rejoice when they hear this because they're not the most educated group. This does not mean that your crappy XRP token is going to pump, but what it does mean is that wealthy equity holders of Ripple, the company, the private company itself, could potentially profit from government contracts that help to build a digital prison for humanity. And if you go on Twitter, you'll see a lot of the XRP army actually celebrating CBDCs and the fact that Ripple may play a part in them. And this just shows how anti-freedom and how uneducated they are. We have something similar happening on the Ethereum side of things. We have Joe Lubin, the entrepreneur, who was a co-founder of Ethereum. And by entrepreneur, what he basically did was create an ecosystem around a captured cryptocurrency called Ethereum. He founded the company ConsenSys, which runs MetaMask and runs Infura because no one runs their own nodes in Ethereum. So ConsenSys has a lot of power through Joe Lubin over the Ethereum ecosystem. And then ConsenSys itself is working on building central bank digital currencies. Look at this. This blows my mind. ConsenSys envisioning a future of central bank digital currencies for everyone, everywhere. CBDCs are just for authoritarian governments. They're not for the people. They're not for everyone. Here's another part of the ConsenSys website, blockchain solutions for central bank digital currency. So we can see here XRP, Ethereum, two of the largest market cap cryptocurrencies, are actively collaborating with governments in the open to create surveillance coins. If you're enjoying this video so far, I just ask you to hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave a comment or question if you want to. Then you have crypto funding bogus university research programs and also paying for lots of ads, as we're going to see. Input Output, which is a Cardano funded company, does this blockchain research donation at Stanford. We can see that they've also given a donation to a research hub at Edinburgh, and these research facilities are meant to focus on Cardano. We have the Science of Blockchain conference, as if blockchain were really a thing apart from decentralized proof of work. This was held at Stanford. It was funded by IC3, which is short for the Initiative for Cryptocurrencies and Contracts. And if we take a look at who is funding this, we can see that it's an initiative of faculty members at all of these different universities, some very prestigious universities like Carnegie Mellon, but then you also have ETH Zurich thrown in here. When we look at who is funding IC3, we can see it's Chainlink, it's Ethereum, it's Avalanche, and then of course it's JP Morgan. This is really part of the fiat system, and this is part of capture and control. On the other side of things, we have the VC firms and their lobbying, as well as large exchanges like Coinbase that had a lot of lobbyists in Washington, D.C. Here's an article from last year, Big Hires, Big Money in a DC Blitz. This is about the VC firm, venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz out of Silicon Valley, who's responsible for releasing some of the worst cryptocurrencies, pump and dumps of all time. Avalanche, for example, Chia Network. You can just scroll down here, Flow, Uniswap, Near, all of these tokens that have the same pump and dump charts if you look them up. And this lobbying was paying off for a while until it didn't. But there's a huge amount of money sloshing around Washington, D.C. It's not pro-Bitcoin money. It's money seeking to create a regulatory moat and to grandfather in these tokens issued by venture capital firms like Andreessen Horowitz. Then we also have the money that is going to fund energy FUD surrounding Bitcoin. This was not something that normal people were worried about. Normal people aren't worried about how much electricity, how much energy their dishwasher or dryer uses, or how much electricity people spend playing video games, which is comparable, I've heard, to what the Bitcoin blockchain, what Bitcoin miners spend. But this was a concern that was raised and funded by cryptocurrencies like XRP. Ripple co-founder Larson provides $5 million to this bogus Greenpeace program, trying to get Bitcoin to change the code from proof of work to proof of stake so it can be better captured by the US government. Whenever you see change the code on Twitter, it's being funded by XRP. And so if you own these cryptocurrencies like XRP or Cardano or Ethereum, you are actually helping to fund active attacks on Bitcoin. And this is why you really can't hold both. If you understand what Bitcoin is and how important it is as freedom money, you don't want to be funding the opposition by holding these coins. I also believe, and this is just my personal belief, that sources like Digiconomist, who are behind much of the energy FUD attack on Bitcoin, are also being funded by XRP. We can see Twitter accounts like this that cite Digiconomist. We see a lot of these. They're pro XRP, and they talk about how Bitcoin uses too much energy and thus needs to change the code. So this is an attack that's happening at the level of traditional companies and nonprofits like Greenpeace. It's also happening on social media through all of these accounts that are being funded, in my opinion, by XRP. Here we can see Digiconomist and one of their many articles about how Bitcoin is less green and how Bitcoin needs to move to proof of stake. This was something that Sam Bankman-Fried did as well. He bought up a lot of politicians, and he also bought up a lot of crypto news outlets. The block was being secretly funded by SBF, and of course pushing all this crypto garbage. SBF himself, Sam Bankman-Fried, was also a huge attack on Bitcoin. He never tired of saying bad things about Bitcoin, saying that Bitcoin used too much energy, that Bitcoin had no future as a payments network. It turns out that it's actually SBF who has no future, not Bitcoin. So these are the scams and the scammers and the scammerers. You have Vitalik, you have SBF, you have all these people, you have all the funding coming from Ripple and Ethereum and the Silicon Valley VCs. And this has nothing to do with Bitcoin's mission as freedom money. I like this graphic from Adam Back. Perception is that Bitcoin is a subcategory within crypto. Then you have fiat over here. The reality is that crypto is another way in which the fiat system exerts its control and tries to attack Bitcoin and enrich itself. The reality is Bitcoin is a one-of-a-kind asset. So when you hear about Coinbase having all these problems, you should rejoice. You should remember that the garbage that they help to dump on naive and uneducated retail investors like Shiba Inu, for example. You should also remember how insiders were trading against these retail investors by buying tokens that were about to be listed on Coinbase and then selling them into the pump after they were listed. So these are immoral people. CZ has been doing wash trading. CZ, it appears, has been laundering customer money into funds that he owns. And so these are not people that you should feel sorry for. These are not people part of our house. And so it's not a house divided. It's Bitcoin against fiat, and it's Bitcoin against crypto. And if you want to side with Washington, D.C., if you want to side with ESG FUD, if you want to side with these scammers, then you should definitely feel sorry for Binance and Coinbase and the various crypto projects like Cardano and Ethereum and Hex and other crypto tokens like this that will be sued by the SEC in the coming months and will rightfully be taken down and pushed out of the US. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.